There is no doubt in saying that Luke Skywalker is by far one of the fan-favorite characters of the Skywalker saga by George Lucas, Disney, Lucasfilm, etc., etc. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about the Skywalker saga, and especially the sequel trilogy in and on itself by Disney, is that a lot of fans had issues with exactly how Luke Skywalker was used by writer and director Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy and the other creatives over at Lucasfilm while they were developing this new Star Wars trilogy. Now, the thing about Luke Skywalker is that we also know that these stories are very important to Disney and Lucasfilm, and that they're currently going under a major shift when it comes to them focusing on their new Star Wars universe. Now, this new universe is going to consist of movies, TV shows, books, novels, video games, I mean, you name it, the list goes on and on. It really is going to be a very big deal, not just for themselves as companies, but also to the Star Wars community, because it is quite concerning as to exactly what they are going to do now with the character of Luke Skywalker. That's one of their big plans, as we speak, in order to change the Star Wars franchise. Now, when we look at Disney and Lucasfilm, on the other hand, they're also primarily focused on their Star Wars movies as well, like their new Star Wars trilogy, and how they're also planning spin-off films for the future of this franchise. Now, with that being said, what's really intriguing is that, of course, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the Skywalker saga and are focused on their new Star Wars trilogy and the Star Wars universe, it's explained that they have big plans in store for the Star Wars fans around the world that may worry many of the passionate fans who grew up with this franchise from the very beginning. Now, it's noted that currently Lucasfilm is trying their very best in order to expand the stories of many of the fan-favorite characters, and that one of the strategies that they have in play right now is to retcon Luke Skywalker's story both in the sequel trilogy and in the original trilogy with their new Star Wars universe. It's noted that with these new Star Wars stories, it's actually said to change elements of Luke's history and also aspects of Luke in the sequel trilogy lore by Disney, and that they are looking to retcon what they have not only built for themselves already with the new Star Wars canon material with their movies and books plus comics, but also elements of Luke's life in the originals from George Lucas. This is said to be a risky plan by Lucasfilm in order to tell fresh stories about Luke Skywalker and to also model the new version of Luke after the old expanded universe as much as they can in order to satisfy the fans around the world. Now, this is said to be a big plan by Lucasfilm to also create endless amounts of stories for the fans that they will enjoy for the years to come, and that they are also going to include brand new creatives to handle the restructuring of Luke's life during the originals and the sequels. Now, these stories are set to release sometime next year in 2021. That will be a big deal for the fans. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about everything related to what Disney is trying to do here, they're trying to give us a different version of Luke. Now, I'm fine with them retconning aspects of Luke's life in the sequels. The problem that I do have with, of course, them retconning the originals is that it may actually change our view of the originals in a negative way. Now, what do I mean by retcon? A lot of you guys may not really know exactly what retcon really means. A great example, almost in a sense, is that where you had Rian Johnson trying to set up that Rey was nobody and that she was going to be, not related to anybody special, and then J.J. Abrams comes in and makes her a very special person related to Palpatine. So you can see the big switch there of what they were trying to do. Another example of what they're trying to do with retcons, and the first step to this, is exactly what happened to, of course, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. That's all going to be explained in the upcoming new comics. We're going to be learning more about new characters and stuff related to it in that sense. It also has to do with revelations being changed around and specific reveals being altered. That's really what it is. Now, when we look at everything what they're trying to do, with, of course, the retcon of Luke's life here in the sequels and the originals, it does worry me quite a bit. I have no problem with them changing aspects of Luke's life in the sequel trilogy era. That's fine with me. But the original trilogy era, what are they really going to change? The only thing that I can really think about is that maybe Mara Jade was actually, roaming around on perhaps the forest moon of Endor for all we know, and that's how she meets up with Luke Skywalker, while they're having an Endor celebration. That could very well be a retcon where they're going to throw Mara Jade in during the Endor celebration, and that's where they both meet. They could very well do something like that, where it's going to change your vision of how you watch the ending of the movie, knowing that Mara Jade is there. Even though she's not there in the movie, you do know that in canon, she will be there. That's another example. So, like I said, guys, when you think about everything related to what Disney is doing, this is a risk. There's no doubt about that. It's a big risk, and it's something that I think a lot of fans need to really kind of keep their eyes and ears open on whether or not this is the best decision by Disney and Lucasfilm, and of course, Disney CEO Bob Iger. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.